Hi guys, I'm Andre Cox. I'm going to be doing your assessment today. And you are Claire
Yes.
and you are Summer? Okay, well, welcome. I just want to let you know that the assessment process is about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I would just want you to be casual. I'm very laid back. I want you to be laid back, but just be as truthful and honest as you can. Um, just before we start, I want to go over your consents and your client rights and explanation of services. This is a packet that we provide you, and at the end of the packet, we're going to sign some forms, some consent to treatment forms. But before we start, I wanted to kind of let you know who we are as an agency. Of course, we're family intervention specialists, and we provide therapy services to families. We're a community service provider, meaning we can service you both in your home or in our office. We have individual therapy, family therapy, and CSI, or you might even hear it called community support individual. And so at the end of the assessment process, we're going to go over some goals and decide which of those clinicians will help you. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
Okay. There are some benefits of services. We help improve your self-concept and self-control. We help with parenting issues. We help with family issues, communication challenges. We can help with all of those issues. For the most part, I want you to know that everything you say is confidential, but there are some limits to confidentiality. I am a mandated reporter, and so some items that I might have to report would be if I felt Summer was going to do harm to herself or someone else. I have a duty to warn. If she is doing drugs, and it's illicit, or if there's drugs in the home and we see that, we would probably have to report that. If there's guns or weaponry in the house that's not properly stored, or we felt like it was dangerous, we would have to report that. Another case we would report would be a court order. So if there's any defects, cases that are opened, or any involvement with DJJ, we would have to share information. And in the event of a client's death, sometimes we would have to break confidentiality. I have all 9 of those limits in your packet, so that once you leave, you can review those limits if you have any questions. Feel free to ask any questions now if you have them.
No, I don't think so. Do you understand them, Summer?
Yeah. Okay. Well, also, what's very important is you have a Bill of Rights as a client. You have the right to choose your provider. In this case, your school guidance counselor referred you to us, so you have that right to choose us from a list of other agencies. You have the right to get information about your records. You have the right to, we're on call 24/7, or you have access 24/7. The only caveat I wanted to explain with that is you're going to have an assigned therapist, and if it's an emergency situation, you would need to call 911 if it's something that you needed immediately. But in the event that you didn't have an emergent issue, you would have access via voicemail or so forth to call your therapist. And we also have included a list of emergency phone numbers within FIS. So if you could not get your assigned therapist, there are a list of people provided here. You have the right to participate in treatment decisions. So at the end of this assessment, when we go over goals, you are able to say if you like a goal or you don't like a goal, or if you would like to add to what I'm suggesting. We have a complaint and appeals process. So if you're not happy with the service I provide or any other clinician behind me, you can place a complaint, and we have the process here, as well as the compliance officer. Her name is Diane Anthony, and a contact number. Usually I'll just circle this so you'll know. Okay. we'll get to this a little bit later. In conjunction with your complaint process, there is a complaint form that you can complete and submit. You have the responsibilities as a part of this process. It is collaborative. We have the right to provide you with optimum service, but you have the responsibility for cooperating, keeping your appointments, participating in your treatment plan, and so forth. Do you have any other questions, or do you have any questions so far? Summer, you okay? Okay. No questions, Claire? Okay. We have included legal entity information at the end. It's an advocacy list. You have a right to that, as well as, have you ever heard of HIPAA?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to break it down. We have a formal description of what HIPAA is. It's a regulatory act that says that in order for us to get information about Summer, we have to have your permission, Claire, and Summer's permission, and a release of information, authorization for release of information. So when you go to the pharmacy, sometimes they'll have that sheet when you're picking up your prescription. It's basically the same thing, saying that we have to have your permission before we obtain records on Summer's behalf.
And are you going to give these records back to the guidance counselor?
If you give us that permission. So at the end of this consent process, you have the opportunity to give me permission to get those records or correspond with that agent.
Will the guidance counselor get a copy of this assessment?
No, what we can provide is an integrative summary that I would have to review with you first before we give it out. You have the right to have any information, and you have the right to give it to whomever you would like. We just ask that I would be able to review it with you first. And if you want them to have it, yes, we could provide that for them. Of course, Summer is a minor. She's 14. Is that correct, Summer? Are you 14? So you as the parent would have to be a big part of her treatment and be around when services are provided. Okay. Here is the complaint form that I mentioned earlier if you wanted to do a complaint. Here I've also included is the consent to treatment. This is your copy. Essentially, this consent to treatment is you giving me permission and any other clinician at FIS permission to treat Summer. It's also saying that you recognize therapy can be a strainful process and that sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. And it will also kind of recap what we've just gone over, the 12 areas that we've just covered. So do you understand so far about the consent to treatment? Okay. Oh, yes, okay. I mentioned before the client advocacy, and advocacy just means that we're providing support for you in various ways. And we have listed here 13 ways that we support you. So when you get home, just take a look at that and review it. To build on that, we have some legal issue help aids so that you don't have to let your fingers do the walking. It's all right here. And if you have any questions, you can just reach out to these providers and resources. And then the first page that I need a signature on is called the Mental Health Advance Directive. And this is just me basically educating you on what could happen if we deem it appropriate for Summer to, for example, have inpatient hospitalization. The Mental Health Advance Directive is just a directive that we would have on file at the hospital. Now, I'm not saying, Summer, that you're going to go to the hospital. This is just something that we offer to all clients. You can elect to get more information and have something on file, or you can say, no, I don't want it. But essentially what it means is if Summer were to be in an inpatient hospital, that you would want to be a part of her treatment decisions. You don't want treatments like electric shock therapy being provided without your permission.
Okay.
Does that cause some confusion? Any concerns? Again, the booklet is about 13 pages. So what would happen is when you sign this form, if you say, yeah, I want to know more about this mental health advance directive, you could just check I do. Diane Anthony, who's also the compliance officer, is the point of contact, and she can provide you with more information in getting that instated.
So even as her mother, if she gets hospitalized, they wouldn't, if I don't have this, they won't let me make decisions?
Well, it's just, no, this form is just saying whether you want more information or not. If you elect and you say, I do not wish, I'm sure if you go into an inpatient hospital, they're going to present you with this information again. We just at FIS want to make you aware of your options.
Okay.
Okay. Summer, you understand that? No? Okay. So would you like to, you would not like to? Are you interested in learning more?
I don't think she's going to be hospitalized.
Okay.
So
So I do not? Okay. May I get you to sign here, please? Okay, thank you. We have another document that I need you to sign. This is the official consent to treatment. Now, we talked about this before, and what I'm going to do is just check off the appropriate boxes so that you won't have to, indicating that you are her mother and you're her parent. And I'm making it in third person, referring to Summer as she. And what I need for you as the guardian and parent is to print and sign by my exes and date. So I need your name here printed, print and sign and date. Summer, have you had a chance to hear what I was explaining to your mom? Did you hear what I was explaining to your mother as far as the consents and who we are and you know, more about our agency? Do you have an understanding? Okay. Can I get you to sign here? Okay. What I want you to do is print and sign at the top, right here, here and there. And Claire, while she's doing that, you mentioned that you might want your records, or you had a concern about if Summer's records would go to her
Yeah,
school.
I don't want them in our business. They don't need to know anything about Summer or what's going on or
Okay.
any of that stuff.
Okay. Are there any other agencies that we might need to work with on Summer's behalf?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do on this form is it is your option to decline authorization for release of information. So I just need your signature, and you're just saying that you refuse to release information at this point. If things should change, or you go down the line and feel like, okay, I would like to do that, you would have to just be aware that we have to have this form signed, okay? So, Summer, how do you spell your name?
Just like you spell summer.
Oh, like Summer? Okay. And what's your last name?
Watson.
And what's your birth date?
January 12th.
95.
Thank you. Okay, Claire, if you could date and sign at the bottom. Sorry, you need that pen, huh? Okay. And this packet is for you. Okay, thank you. And what I'm going to do is just sign right behind you. Okay. So now we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to probably ask you some funny questions. Summer, I want you to be able to share your experiences, and Claire, I want you to jump in. This is all of us working together, and we're going to start off with the basic information. Summer, you said your birthday is January 12th, 95, and you're 14.
It's June, wasn't it? Birthday's in June.
Oh, your birthday's in June? I'm sorry. Well, we need to make sure we make that change. Okay. Okay. And do you all have Medicaid?
Yes.
Okay. And can you provide me with the Medicaid number? Do you have that? Okay.
It's 111
Uh-huh.
975 003.
003. Okay. And Summer, do you know your social security number?
I know that also.
Okay.
It's 035 67 3497.
Okay. And I'm just going to put as the referral source your school guidance counselor. What school do you go to?
I don't remember.
You don't remember your school? Okay.
She goes to Hiram High.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now, I noticed on the referral source sheet that Summer was having some behavioral issues at school. And so it just basically talked about her misbehaving, talking inappropriately, and so forth. What are some of the reasons you're seeking treatment for Summer?
Well, I don't know why. She's just all of a sudden started getting in trouble in school. She used to be a very good girl. And about 2 years ago, she started acting up a little bit. And then this year, it's just been horrendous.
Okay. So about 2 years ago is when you noticed the problem started?
It wasn't too bad last year, just a little bit here and there.
Okay, just backtracking a little bit. May I have your mailing address?
Sure, it's 149
Uh-huh.
South Cobb,
Okay.
Dallas, Georgia,
Okay. And your zip?
30157.
Okay. And may I have your home number if you have one?
770
Uh-huh.
443 3002.
Okay. Is there an alternate number we could use, a cell or a work number?
Yeah, 404
Okay.
567
Okay.
2292.
Okay. Is it just you and Summer in the home?
Mostly.
Okay. And is Dad in the home?
No, we're divorced.
Okay.
Divorcing, I guess I should say.
Do you have sole custody of Summer, or do you all have joint custody?
She goes to him every other weekend.
Okay. May I have his name?
It's Jack.
Okay. And is his last name too Watson?
Yes.
Okay. And what's his mailing address, do you know?
I don't know. He didn't tell me.
Okay. And do you have a phone number that you
I
use?
don't. Claire probably does.
Summer?
Or
Do you
someone.
have, that's okay. Do you have your dad's number? Can you give that to me?
678
Uh-huh.
949
Uh-huh.
2210.
Okay. Okay. And so she lives with you, Mom. Okay. Okay, so we have been having some problems in school.
Yes.
Summer, can you tell me what you've been getting in trouble for in school?
I don't know, it's not my fault.
What's not your fault?
School stuff.
What's in terms of you getting in trouble? That's not your fault.
Mhm.
Well, what kind of things are you getting in trouble for?
Not going.
You don't go to school or you don't go to class?
I go to some classes, then I just want to go, and I leave.
Okay.
Or sometimes I don't go at all.
Claire, did you know that?
I knew that she had missed some, I don't know. I only knew 1 or 2 classes.
Okay. Where do you go when you're not going to school? What do you do with your time, Summer?
I just go back home.
You do?
Mhm.
And what do you do at home?
Nothing.
Nothing. You seem a little sad. Are you sad?
I'm okay.
Okay.
She's just cranky. She's constantly cranky.
Okay, so she's constantly irritable. Does she have mood swings?
No, this is pretty much it. She's just constantly cranky.
Okay. And has this been going on for the 2 years as well?
Not the whole 2 years. She was always a little bit irritable the last 2 years, but it's gotten really bad
Okay.
this school year.
Okay, Summer, your mom mentioned that your parents are divorced. How long have they been divorced?
Well, they're divorcing, so I don't know if it was recent, but I guess they've been separated for a couple of years.
Okay, so about 2 years separated. Okay. How do you feel about that?
It sucks.
You're not very happy about it, huh?
No, I'm not. Her father's not good for much.
Okay. Okay. Have you had an opportunity to talk about your feelings with someone, Summer? No. And so, do you think that's what's making you so angry? Okay. Okay. How is your eating? Have you been eating okay? You haven't?
I cook her plenty of meals.
You do?
Every night we have a full meal on the table. We have cereal at home. There's no reason for her not to eat.
And she's just not eating? Okay. Has she had a good appetite before and then stopped eating, or?
Yeah, she's always been a light eater,
Mm-hmm.
but she used to at least eat. Now she'll have like a roll here or there, and
Has there been a significant decrease in her weight as a result of her not eating?
no, not that I've noticed.
Summer, how much do you weigh now?
114.
Have you started your menstrual cycle? Okay. Is it regular?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Are you sure? So it comes about the same time every month? Okay. Do you notice that you become more irritable around your cycle? Mom says yes.
Guess so.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about Summer's mood. Has she been withdrawn, or does she hang out with friends, or?
She spends all her time in her room.
Okay. Okay. Any crying spells, have you noticed?
I haven't noticed any crying spells.
Okay.
No.
Any complaints of anxiety or panic attacks, or?
She just doesn't even talk, so I mean.
So she, okay. At one point, did she talk to you, and so were you able to ever talk about her feelings with her?
A little bit, I guess. I know when her father and I were first separated and divorcing, she was crying a lot then, and we talked about it a little bit then.
Okay.
But not much since.
Okay. Summer, have you ever, do you know what hyperactivity is?
You do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, do you squirm in your seat a lot? Do you do this a lot? that a lot? Do you do any of that?
I guess so, yeah.
Mom, would you say there's some hyperactivity from your observance?
Yeah, she's constantly doing this.
Okay. Okay. Anger outbursts. Are there any anger issues that you can tell me about?
Not so much outbursts, just constant cranky and irritable.
Just a brewing anger.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Summer, have you ever experimented with drugs or alcohol? Okay, so you've never had any coolers or beer, anything like that?